Worldwide, approximately 147 million people have been or will be diagnosed with alopecia throughout their lifetime. Despite the fact that everyone in this room has hair, you don't know if you or someone you know will be diagnosed with alopecia throughout their lifetime. I went to the dermatologist when I first started to know that my hair was falling out in October of 2017. I learned that alopecia is mainly due to stress factors, but it does have a genetic inheritance component in it. In my case, my alopecia was caused by 90% of stress, but it had some genetic component in it, but we don't know much about it because no one else that we know of in my family has alopecia. Talking about alopecia helps bring awareness to the mind and body. I've had alopecia since I was 12, and I believe that everyone should have a basic understanding of how alopecia affects someone throughout their mind and body so we can be there for them when they need us the most. Alopecia is an uncommon autoimmune disorder that affects people throughout their mind and body. Today I will cover 3 main points: how the immune system is affected, then secondly, I will talk about the declining in mental health, and finally, I'll go over self-body issues. The immune system is one of the main causes of alopecia. The pathology of alopecia still isn't clear, but studies suggest that alopecia is a complex, multi-genetic trait and it is inherited. The immune system mistakenly attacks hair follicles. In the article Immunology of Alopecia Areata, the author says alopecia areata is mostly considered to be an autoimmune disease in which the hair follicles play a key role of privilege there. When people have alopecia, they can't control whether their hair falls out in full, in little spots, or if it will ever come back again. When I first had alopecia, my hair fell out for a few years, and then I had medicine, and then it came back, got off the medicine because it caused some problems, negative problems to my body. It was out for a little bit, and then my hair grew back, and then it fell out a month later, and then I just recently started a new medication that just got FDA approved in August, and my hair has been growing back, and we're hoping that it keeps growing back. In addition to the immune system being affected, mental health has been proven to rapidly decline once being diagnosed with alopecia. Studies have shown that people with alopecia have had their depression rates go up. It is very clear that depression can play a big role in patients with alopecia. Participants in a study by Burkhardt called Psychological Impacts of Alopecia Areata reports back that 61% has depression. Out of all the patients who reported back in the study, 82% of them had minimal depression and 18% had moderate depression. Mental health is very important, but gaining knowledge on self-body issues is equally as important. People who have alopecia don't exactly fit the beauty standards of today's world. In recent studies, it is shown that people who struggle with alopecia think negatively about themselves. They try to come up with positive coping mechanisms like telling themselves they're beautiful, reassuring themselves every day, listening to people's compliments, but most of the time they can't keep that positive coping mechanism, and it goes right back to negative coping mechanisms because a lot of times for girls, hair is what they go by. A lot of people look at their hair, but for guys, it's not as much as a big deal because it doesn't really go against beauty standards of not having hair if you're a guy. In the article Body Image and Self-Esteem in Women with Alopecia by Jessica Sample, she says, no matter how hard people try to be happy and find self-love when they have alopecia, it can be very hard. People who suffer with alopecia tend to not want to go outside in public with their friends because they get embarrassed or they just are humiliated when people look at them or stare at them. A lot of the stares people give you when you have no hair can be very uncomfortable and makes you think negatively about your body, and your mental health declines. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Alopecia is an uncommon autoimmune disorder that affects people throughout their mind and body. And we know that the immune system is one of the main causes of alopecia because it mistakenly attacks your hair follicles, but there is no cure yet. But there are scientists researching and trying to study alopecia. And we also know that alopecia causes mental health to decline because you lose love in yourself when you see yourself in the mirror every day, or people ask you things or tell you things about not having hair. And we also know that our self-body image is ruined due to the mental health declining and due to other people staring and due to ourselves being negative. I would like to close today with a quote from Maya Angelou. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced to them.